Hello, welcome back to Call of Duty League Stage 5 matches. We get a beautiful skyline shot of New York City. And before we even get into checking out our teams, we're going to take a look at the Astro social soundboard because the Mutineers were getting busy before the matches even began. Joe, they're a little surprised they're starting already as that first match lasted approximately 40 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't too long, was it? Obviously, Atlanta FaZe, they are locked in. I think for them, you know, the year has gone well, but the big focus is on the big prize for the end of the year. So they are focused on one objective and one objective only.
Yeah, no, 100%. But let's start to talk a little bit about the teams we have in play now. We're going to have Mutineers going up against Surge. And, you know, Mutineers holding on to that 8th place spot, looking forward to the championship at the end of the year. Surge, you know, not really going to be that focused there. They're far out of the hunt, but this is a team, you saw some tweets, you know, after the most recent major that they felt had they been on land, they'd be in that top 8. Do you feel there's a little something extra here to maybe send a message to that team in the 8th spot?
Well, I mean, I would hope so, right? Like, these guys are professionals, right? You have another chance at maybe winning a major, getting into that winner's bracket and going on another run. But I would think that they want to make a message that, like, we've gotten better throughout this year. But the fact is they started off very, very slow. So you can only do what you can from here on out.
100%. But let's get into it and start to meet our squads. We're going to kick it off with checking out Seattle Surge.
Fire coming in, but can Prestinni win it too? No. He does. That's 3 straight. Dashy versus Octane, and it's Sam who's able to come away with it.
On a classic. Trying to line him up. Trying to line him up in the final.
Looking to find a few more, but Gunless absolutely rips his way through the 3 of them.
249, Seattle won! Seattle Surge, they've had some changes throughout the year. They bring in classic last stage, and Joe, it's one of those situations where, like, they've seen improvements somewhere but fell off elsewhere.
Yeah, you know, that Respawns, they were competing with some of the best teams in the league, but their search really fell off. I think in stage 4 it was like 2-9, which is just simply not going to be good enough in this league today. But that meant on your screen, Octane, he had a heck of a performance throughout that 4th major. But he put up like a 1.3 something. The guy was going off. But for these guys, again, it's you know, what improvements can we make? Can we make a run at this next major coming up?
Absolutely, because, yeah, I know the focus this late in the year, we're starting to think about the championship at the end of all of this. But, yes, there is still a major with a ton of money on the line. This is a team that, if they see some improvements here, maybe the search gets a little bit better with Classic, then who knows? Maybe they can make a run into the top 3, which I think a lot of Surge fans would like to see something, as it's been a tough year. But I guess my question to you, Joe, is kind of, Classic has never been known for a search and destroy. He's been competing a long time. Whatever team he has been on, I feel like has struggled in that mode. I don't have stats for every year in front of me, but that's kind of been a running thing. At this point in your career, how do you get better?
I don't want to go into how much like he's practiced and hasn't practiced. I really don't know, but you would think that after years and years of kind of knowing that that was a weakness, you would really focus on it. Maybe he has, and it's just something with the role he plays, and I don't know, maybe it's just difficult for him. I don't really know. But it would have to be on the effort part of playing a lot of it, I would hope. But I'm just not sure if he is.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see if they can find improvements there, because that was the big weakness in the last stage. But on the other side of the matchup, let's take a look at the next squad up. It is going to be Florida Mutineers.
Situation and a nice 3-piece coming in from Big Wake.
Neptune is playing this, trying to bait him out, but aBeZy gets into a nice He's finally in reposition, but aBeZy beat
Just a little bit too much, but Neptune. He's still got the wall raging for P2 that Neptune is winning single-handedly. Great work. Again, looking at that mini-map, we know where they're coming from. These players do all round. But these boys have to get through skies. You have to get through skies!
is this?
Joe, I think we've been excited for this team for a long time. Like, it feels like the pieces are now there. They've been trying to figure it out all year. It just feels like they've just been this step away from being a contender. But now, I mean, it's go time if it ever has been. We're into the final stage with tons of money around the corner. They got to make it click now.
Well, I think the bright spot throughout Stage 4 was the fact that they started off 3-1. They had the big Game 5 win over Toronto Ultra, and everyone was just kind of like looking around like, all right, this is it. Neptune is played incredibly well. Yeah, as you said, with Awakening and Skies, it was a big focus on the sub duo. When was Neptune really going to turn into a star? And he has. But they lost the last series of Stage 4 against Dallas that put them in the losers bracket, at the elimination bracket at Major 4. And that's just a tough spot to be in right away. And you know, and then they lose a Game 5 to get knocked out of the tournament. So it's like if they start in winners, maybe there's some momentum that can be gained. But they had a great start. They were looking good.
Let's get right into our game fuel keys to victory. We're going to start off with Florida Mutineers. Joe, take me through it.
Well, I mean, Neptune needs to continue where he left off. Major 40 to 1.36. And I mean, he was just doing ridiculous things on the stage, right? I mean, he was really showing his star power. Skies needs to find consistency in respawns. You can see it here. Stage 4, 1.3 in both of them, right? Then you look at the Major, falls off a little bit in the hard point, but big time in the control. And then mimic that Stage 4. Come out to a strong start. Put yourself in a position where you can start in that winners round 1, maybe in a winners round 2, so that you can gain some momentum and, you know, maybe take down some of the best.
Yeah, it's tough because, like, that, you know, they play 2 series, right? So that control's based off 2 series, but that dip is just huge, and that's a massive drop off. And I think he's a guy that's going to need to be more consistent for him in that capacity in respawns. But I want to see this team come out hot. I mean, that lost Empire at the end of Stage 4, I guess, doesn't look as bad now, considering like the Empire run that they made, right, and the improvements that team has seen. But can you get off to a nice start like you did in Stage 4? It's do or die time, I feel, for this Mutineer squad.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a horrible loss, as you said, but it's one of those losses where they look back. If that's different, they may have a different Major there.
Oh, 100%. Oh, absolutely. I totally agree with you there. But let's talk about our game fuel keys to victory now on the other side of this, as we'll look through things for Seattle Surge, Joe.
I mean, S&D just has to improve. 2-9 throughout Stage 4. That has to get better. The good thing, though, when they added Classic, what turned around was the control. Keep that momentum in the Game 3. They won 5 in a row. From April 9th to June 5th, they lost 10. So they figured it out with their roster. They got better in that game mode. But as you can see, you add Classic to the roster, and one side gets better, the other side does not. In the last 7 or 11 matches on Seattle, a .59 S&D KD. Just not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it in this league today. He's got to step up and get better in this mode.
Yeah, what's really stood out this year, when you think about the top teams that have made runs, whether it is, you know, FaZe all year or Empire more recently or Ultra throughout the year, like, they're pretty good in all game modes. Like, there's not a glaring weakness, and that is what Surge have been unable to eliminate. There's been something that has just been bane of their existence across the modes. We'll see if they can find some semblance of consistency across the 3, but let's check out our maps and modes for this best of 5 as we get ready to rock and roll. Anything mind-blowing for you popping up?
No, honestly, it's a pretty back-and-forth series just due to map picks. Apocalypse, very strong for Seattle, pretty weak for Mutineers. Then you have the Mutineers S&D pick. It's a good one for them. It's a weak one. I guess at that map number 3, Checkmate Control, the Mutineers have 13 reps, 8-5, where Seattle Surge are 3-3, but that's where they've been picking up some of those wins. In the back half of this series, it does look pretty good for Mutineers. They don't play a lot of Raid Search and Destroy, though. That is where Seattle Surge 3-7, and the Mutineers 0-1. So they don't play a lot of it, but maybe it's one of those maps where they need to put in their map set.
100%, and well, Surge just obviously haven't been in very good form in Search in general, so it might bode well for Mutineers. Yeah. But I believe it's just a minor tech issue getting everybody in and locked and loaded. We're getting ready to kick it off. The best of 5 between Mutineers and Surge, but we have a minor delay. We'll start as quickly as we can. For now, we're headed to a quick break.
This is your Scump Team of the Week, a super team built with 4 of the top performers at the most recent event. 3 players were selected by the league and 1 was selected by fan vote. Stick around to the end to find out who made the team. First up, it's Crimsix of the Dallas Empire. This COD OG has won nearly 40 major tournaments over the past decade, and based on how he played across the Stage 4 major, he's not done stacking chips just yet. Although the Dallas Empire ultimately finished second to the Atlanta FaZe, the amount of improvement the team has shown with their new roster has been incredible. When the spotlight first hit Crimsix nearly 10 years ago, he was feared for his ability to brute force his way through teams with his raw slaying power. Fast forward to the present, Crimsix's value comes in his ability to play a consistent AR role for his teammates. It's not really his job to get mixy for the team, but what makes the Crimbot so deadly is the fact that he's still got the gun skill to keep up with the new generation of SMGs should the situation demand it. Next up, it's Shotzzy. This kid is the reason Crimsix can take it a bit easier on the map nowadays. Watching Shotzzy across the Stage 4 major was a beautiful thing to witness. Shotzzy moves around the map with such speed and fluidity that you'd swear you were watching the broadcast at 2 times speed. His unparalleled movement is the key to his ability to play his life in chaotic situations and find those little pockets in gunfights to reset and reposition. There were so many moments across the tournament where Shotzzy single-handedly swung the momentum of the map off a single play to keep Dallas alive through their losers bracket run. There aren't many players with the raw mechanical skill of Shotzzy, so when you combine that with his incredible instinct for the game, it's scary to imagine just how much room he still has to grow. Third, it's aBeZy of the Atlanta FaZe. It's been a pretty standard week for aBeZy. This guy makes the Scump Team of the Week and wins tournaments so often that anything less than pure excellence from him is almost an anomaly. We're always praising aBeZy for how fast he plays or how much impact he brings in the SMDs, and this week is going to be no exception. There were so many times across the Stage 4 major where we watched aBeZy just throw himself at the enemy team, rip through 3 or 4 of them, and push through the map to do it all over again as soon as his opponents respawn. aBeZy was lighting it up all tournament, but we've really got to highlight his finals performance where he dropped a 1.24 KD across 9 of the most brutal maps we have seen so far in the Call of Duty League. And finally, selected by fan vote, it's Cellium of the Atlanta FaZe. Whether you love him or hate him for how he plays, it's hard to argue with his results. Cellium's talents can be easy to overlook when his teammates are shredding everyone on the front lines, but as soon as a couple of his teammates go down, that's when we really see Cellium shine. Cellium's pacing has to be somewhere in between that of his SMGs, Simp and aBeZy, and his main AR Arcitys, and it's a tough job to have to be ready to fill in any of the gaps that might pop up in your team setup, but Cellium truly makes that flex role look easy. His win with the Atlanta FaZe marks the team's 2nd major win in a row and their 3rd major dub of the year. With only 1 more major left before playoffs, we can't help but wonder, can Cellium and the Atlanta FaZe go back to back to back? That's your Scump Team of the Week for the Stage 4 major.
Hello and welcome back. Apologies for the brief delay, but all 8 players locked and loaded, ready to get into our map 1, which is going to be Hardpoint on Apocalypse. As Mutineers and Surge get ready to do battle. Joe, I'm just happy to be casting with you again. That little break was nice, but I missed it. I did.
I did too. Yeah, I'm excited. I can't believe that it's already Stage 5. It just feels like once we get going, it just goes so quick. But
every year, it's the same thing. It's like, oh my God, it's a long year. And next thing you know, we're at the tail end of it.
Yeah, ramping up for champs already, which is crazy. But we got 1 more stage, 1 more major to go. And again, for the Mutineers, I just think it's... You have your roster now. You've had a stage where you can fix some mistakes. Now just put yourself in a good position, a chance to win.
Yeah, as much as, I'm excited to see the respawns between these teams. I think a Search is what I'm looking forward to the most, because even though, we talked about Surge's struggles in Search, but we've talked a lot about Mutineers too, and really kind of defensively where they've struggled. I'm looking forward to those battles, but let's focus on the rip of this opening hardpoint. It's Surge that'll be trying to battle for the flip, and while Prestinni's aggression early is going to get it done quickly, that is textbook perfection there from Surge.
I mean, it's just a one-on-one gunfight. He's able to win on that player over towards that 2nd hill. And you always expect a player in this position. It is a powerful position, but they look away in 1 second. You know, there was pressure across the map. Classic also one-on-one-on-one. But on the rebound, the Mutineers, they find a couple of kills. Gunless gets caught by Havoc.
Okay.
They're able to find the time. So what looked like a very nice start for Seattle Surge, they get the spawn flip. The Mutineers, they get the time. They relax. They still had, what, 30, 40 seconds on the first hill. They did not hit the panic button. They're able to rebound.
Yeah, they rebound beautifully. Neither team going to get a ton of time here, but yeah, Surge gets step one done. They never actually are able to get to the point. Just good patience from Mutineers. So now focus on our second hard point. It's Havoc looking to get a roll, and he's on 4 in a row. Nice 5-1 start for him. And yeah, you kind of touched on early in the broadcast, but yeah, what they were really looking to figure out was that sub duo. Who was it going to be? What was the dynamic going to be? And it feels like they've got something nice here with Havoc and Neptune.
Oh, 100%. I think that Havoc can still have some games in respawns against the top teams where, honestly, he's just going to have to be better in the slaying category to compete with the best. But what we've seen from Neptune and what Havoc does, especially in their search and destroy, has improved this team so much. Is Gunless and Octane able to fly on through, at least contest some of this time. But speaking of Neptune, he's there for the trade. He finds this second onto both Gunless and Octane to get this scrap time, but also give them a lot of map position as Prestinni's down towards that bottom left side, finding some kills off spawn.
And yeah, well, I think you've said, I mean, just kind of historically with Call of Duty, like, it's been kind of fine if one of those sub guys, like that 0.9 player, right? It's sort of that, I don't know, number you've mentioned from time to time. And for the most part, it is. But when you're going against Simp and aBeZy, that's not always the case. So we'll see if, yeah, maybe he can find some improvement over the course of this stage. So the time continues to rack up for Mutineers as they're in. Owakening looking for the angle, but it's going to be a 2-man hit for the front for Surge. Neptune trying to be the equalizer. Will his double be enough? Prestinni answers back with one of his own, but the last man in will be Skies, and it's just double, double, double back and forth from the squads. A flurry of multi-kills there in the action.
Yeah, look at Owakening right off a spawn, going for a pinch, but is this going to hurt his team? Havoc's just trying to stay alive. I thought maybe he was going to try and, I don't know, maybe like sometimes you overstep, the spawn opens up on the opposite side of the map, but he plays it patiently. Havoc, he waits for that pinch, and with that pinch, they're able to find the kills over towards this third hill. You can already see Neptune, he's rotated over to number 4 with Skies, and Seattle Surge behind those two. They're going to try and flood on through. There is the flip with those 2 kills. So a good job, and now can they get this map pressure? Can they get them off this hill?
Remember, this is Seattle Surge's map pick, so they're really looking for a W. Down 40 right now. Let's see if they can get it rolling behind those 3 kills. We'll go to a Seattle Surge. Astro listening.
I'm gonna be side group.
There's our goop. And coop, wait.
I'm here with you.
Another one can be front, one can be front.
Yo, back hoop.
Front dead.
One city back out.
One still
Go
cool.
front.
Let's go.
Let's go back out.
Yeah.
Hit once.
Hey, Sean.
He's out. L1. All dead. I've useless.
Looking useless.
Useless weak. I'm standing up from him.
Oh, go for it.
I was not peeking. 14 seconds here, guys.
Nice, I'm working a mid here.
We're gonna push through. We're gonna be tough.
Oh, one top P5. I'm winning useless.
Yeah, I have an AR. I'm trying to play. Let's see the guy on hut. Peeking. He could be back tree and picking it right now.
Top in the corner. Alright, Joe's top.
Come me on ammo truck. On the truck.
He's in the middle of
guys,
one is in the middle of
He's one shot.
One is push up P3 here. One is push up. Literally first one out like this.
There we go.
I'll see him low.
We kill this guy, we could go back
Oh,
around.
in coop.
I can help you. Top TV. One got me winner. Top drop down. There you go. One in coop as well.
Yeah.
He ran away.
One is in coop right now. Yeah, you can try to hit to the right
Top
if
right
you
now?
want.
He's like in useless or L.
He's L.
Drop ammo.
Havoc, one shot.
One's in court as well.
He's out. Good job, guys.
Two. Good job, guys.
Two. I'm in the pass.
Nice,
Guys down. Yeah, you can go.
Push out slope.
Two maps.
Every
I got one.
time-
I got one
Second,
super
20
weak.
seconds.
Come on,
Second
come on.
time.
One shot. One super weak in there.
Oh,
Two
one's
in
back.
the map.
He's right back temple.
Hey, I'm slope right now.
Push.
Ah, they double chase.
I'm going.
One's in P3 barrels.
He's not peeking. He's dead. What the fuck?
One shot. I'm throwing a trophy on you.
He's not peeking me top. I'm jumping
Low
up.
for you. I'm looking low.
On time, wake. One shot.
Let's see the guy low.
Dead.
Well, they're down 40 going into it. Basically a tie game now, 101-103 on the scoreboard. And, well, Prestinni, I mean, really from the opening gunfight, right up mid-map, took his one-on-one. He has not slowed down, leading the lobby at 18 and 12.
Yeah, having a great game here, but I just love listening to Seattle's like listening sometimes because Gunless is just like, okay, if we're spawning here, there's somebody here. All right, we got that guy, now we can do this. And it's just such like a straightforward voice. Like there's no emotion in it. He's just giving the call outs the way they need to be, telling his teammates what needs to happen. They're able to find the last half of that P5. But when that happens, the spawns flip for Mutineers, and they're taking advantage of it. They find the next 30 seconds on this first hill. They have the spawns for next.
We might just want to stay on a listen in. It seemed to work really well for Surge, but let's see if they can surge on forward. They got the presence. They spawned 2 out. A chance here to make a play. Can they get there before the reinforcements come in? Prestinni might be able to slow them down from mid-map, but we're focusing on the back hit through ruins. Here we go. The entry's coming through. They'll have a 2-on-1 on the point. Neptune trying to stand tall. Still got one more to deal with. Octane will get the better of him, but based on the spawns a little bit closer here for Mutineers, the reinforcements should get there first, and we'll see if they can stabilize.
Yeah, they're able to find it. I mean, at least you make this a little bit messy. I think Havoc, he goes on a long route through the middle of the map. They set up that pinch. Skies, he's able to find that 3x multi-kill to deal with the rest of the pressure from Seattle Surge. But yeah, you had a forward position. You got a couple of people out onto this second hill, but Surge, they don't find the kills, as you said, just a lot quicker with the reinforcements. As again, with 20 seconds left, you see the spawns flip. Mutineers, they got out of dodge, they got out of there, and they do it at the right time to set themselves up for the next couple of hills.
Well, Awakening is going to be the point man on one side as he's trying to cut him off. Prestinni, some damage in, but not able to do a whole lot with it. I believe Awakening actually won his one-on-one, and now he's still there in that cutoff capacity to keep them away from the point. Finally, he will drop. You're over the 150 point mark. If you're Mutineers, you got to stack up around the point. The next guy to get aggressive will be Neptune. He's able to take down 2, and whether it was him or Awakening, they keep staggering this push. Neptune now gets a 3rd. He's on 4 in a row. You've never been able to get like the brunt of the squad if you're Surge towards the hard point.
Yeah, well, Classic, he's able to get behind that hill. He's able to get behind 2, and that sets up the pinch that they need. But Mutineers, they still have spawns. They're going to try and slow things down. You see the way 6 and 8 are playing it all the way towards the top side of your mini-map. Really making sure they keep control, but there's going to be some split spawns that come in. Very similar scenario to what we had on our first rotation around this hill. A Surge, we find again, split the time. We almost have a tie game. Neptune, Skies trying to just hang on, and with those reinforcements, just naturally develops a pinch. Just Havoc, Awakening, able to find a couple of kills. You can see Octane all the way in the back, just trying to hold on and do what he can, but just too many Mutineers members.
Yeah, he took the real long route. He was just hugging outskirts the whole way around, but yeah, I think he got 1 to try and open it up, but that's all he was really able to do. Now, no body in the point, but the close spawn in for Mutineers. They'll be able to flood on forward. Havoc's got bodies on either side of it, as he'll be in trouble. Your Surge still in striking distance, just down around 20.
I'll say that was a bit of a weird scenario, because with Octane's position, I think Mutineers are thinking that they have the close spawn. But they actually all spawned out back towards back temple, and now you have this pinch developing for Seattle Surge. The timing worked out. Nobody from Mutineers really turned around. Why? Because they're like, all right, they're just trying to hold on to spawns for P5. They're not going to push this again. But then a couple of spawns come in. That pinch happens, and Seattle Surge now in a really good position to deal with this push. It's Prestinni all the way out towards TV. Does get cut down. Mutineers now are on the hill. You have Classic up top with Octane behind him.
It just feels like if these pension breaks came in like 10 to 15 seconds earlier, I mean, Surge would have a pretty significant lead. They've just been coming in pretty deep in the hard points, but at least here it sets them up for next. Very well, but that is falling apart. Gunless is going to be the lone man. He's got 2 players to deal with. Skies will fall. Havoc will fall. Gunless on a one-man mission now, just 1 more below him, but he wants to take that fight as well. It's Neptune. He's got bottom. He's got some help here. They clear it out. And Surge remains strong. Down 25.
Oh,
Make
yeah,
it
until
run
that
until
happens.
Skies kills everybody. 4 in a row. Positive 10. Yeah, that flipped the script.
Yeah, it was a couple of individual plays. On one end, it was Gunless, and that's going to be the one-on-one as he comes off spawn and wins it to find at least, 10 seconds. But Gunless, I mean, nobody played safety for Seattle Surge. So you had Awakening goes on a long round, gets his team the spawns, but Surge just fought from the hill. Gunless made the play, bought them time, and then it was Skies who just cleaned up the entire team, and now you have the same scenario we saw in that second rotation where they go for that push, they get the spawns, and well, Mutineers, they just spawn all the way out across the map to set themselves up for P1.
I mean, they've got P1 control. They've got the setup for P2. This is Mutineers' game to lose. They're in position to close it out. Surge are going to have to do something wild. It's going to have to happen here. This spawn up, this break needs to be perfect. They've got to get in. They've got to get the flip if they've got a chance of winning this. Now just 5 seconds to go for Mutineers. Here comes the push. And they're not even going to be able to touch it. Mutineers get it done. They take the map 1. It was Surge's pick, and well, that gives them the favor in this series in a big way.
No, 100%. I mean, this is where Seattle Surge have looked so good. I mean, 6-3, 1-2 for the Mutineers on this map. But there was that 4x by Skies to get everybody out of that hill. Well, the Mutineers able to go up 1-0 in this series, and it was a great performance by Skies. Who was it? Skies and Neptune really leading the way kill-wise for them. And it's what we wanted to see. Again, throughout stage 4, he was ridiculous, leading the way like a 1.3 in those respawns. But at the major, slowed down a bit, but you can tell the impact that he has. I feel like we always talk about X Factor stats. He has some of the highest in the league.
Yeah, I mean, Skies, really the whole team was solid all around, but you gotta love what you're seeing out of the sub duo. I mean, I know Havoc's even, but look at the damage output, highest on the squad. Neptune ends up +6. You get a nice, really overall performance out of everybody. That's what they need. They got the pieces. Can they all show up at game time when it matters? That's a map 1 win for Mutineers on Surge's map 1 pick. This smiles across the board for them. We'll be back with the Search to Destroy after this quick break.
The Call of Duty League is presented by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G.
Hello, welcome back. A map 1 victory for Mutineers, but now what I've been excited to see between these two teams will be the search coming up. But before we get there, yeah, Joe, you've touched on it a little bit throughout the course of the broadcast so far, but there were some really impressive statistics out of this Mutineer squad. When you look at the last stage, can you run me through it?
I mean, just look at the top 3, 4, 7, 11. I mean, that is ridiculous. And even with that, they didn't start in the winners bracket. Again, it was a great start for the Mutineers. They started off 3-1, got an upset over Ultra. It was that last match that just really hurt them against the Dallas Empire for that winners bracket start. But now they're in a position where they're trying to get off to that quick start once again here in stage 5.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you're just going to have to, you want to start in winners, and you're in one of these groups, you're probably going to have to beat a couple of top teams. When you look at the results from the last event, what they had Ultra in third, you had Empire who got second. They would have needed to maybe win both of those if they were going to get into the winner's bracket. This time around, with a team like Surge, sitting in the bottom four, you just need to come in, handle business, get off to a good start, and they do that in map one. But now to talk the Surge a little bit, since Classic has come in, yes, the improvements have happened in control, but the Surge has been abysmal. For Mutineers, whenever we watch them, we talk about like one thing. Their offense is typically pretty strong. They like to be aggressive. They like to take gunfights. On the defensive side, sometimes there's I don't know if they get a little antsy. There's not enough patience in certain spots and they get caught. Curious to see if there's been some improvement there.
Yeah, and I think on a map like Moscow, you'll really see it happen, right? If you do get antsy, because our offensive teams have gotten a lot better of trying to keep the defenses guessing. And when you keep defenses guessing, that's when you force them to be a little bit impatient, to over-rotate to one side, maybe take a gunfight that they shouldn't. But it will be Florida starting on that offense here in round number one.
Let's see what they have to do with it. It's pretty aggressive defensively from Surge. You've already got Prestinni just tucked outside of their window. Basically a 2-2 split from either side. Is everyone just trying to get the information, which is kind of everything in Search and Destroy.
Yeah, he's going to see that, but also his stun hits. His nade doesn't connect on a Neptune, but the stun does connect. So that lets him know that at least there's two players over towards this site. You see, though, I think Havoc was spotted, so you have Prestinni and Gunless staying very patient over towards that site, but up the middle of the map goes Owakening, and now Havoc. So I think it's going to be an A hit through upper escalators, and it's going to come down to the two players. And Octane and Classic, the duo on this site.
Well, once those shots come in, the gig is up. They know the hits through Eskies. That'll be the rotation now for Surge, but it might be too late. Both players on the A site already drop. It's going to be now down to Prestinni and Gunless to try and get a 2-on-4 retake of the site. Prestinni's POV we go. This is no easy task. Owakening will put him down. It all resides in Gunless to try and make the play, but too many bodies, too many bullets. Round one to Mutineers.
How many times have we seen that the last couple of stages, like this sort of middle of the map up to escalators, and then it falls on two defensive players to either, I mean, rarely do we see them get everyone, but you're hoping for at least two to force a 2-on-2. And I just don't think it happens that often. I don't know if there's something else that you can do. I know it can be tough because you don't want to give up a bomb plant, but it just feels like defensive teams need to really lock down the middle of the map so teams cannot go up Eskies that easy.
Yeah, that like delayed Eskies hit. We've just seen it a ton. And
just so many times.
Yeah, it's like if you can't get the kills, can you at least delay the plane a little bit? Like try and give your teammates time to get there, but we're just too quick, too clean. Speaking of quick, it's Havoc with the first blood onto Classic. To open things up is, he gets very aggressive. He can't get out of harm's way, though, so we'll get traded out and throw us into a 3 versus 3. Guys is looking for ankles.
Yeah, trying to find that player on the bus, but you have Neptune, who's in a bit of an off angle here in position top Eskies. You do have Prestinni, who found an opening middle of the map, but I think this is going to be on Neptune. What can he find? Is Prestinni almost able to take down Owakening, and then almost takes down himself, but he's out of there. But Neptune, he's waiting for it. He's patient, and well, he's able to find the 2 kills. And number 3, Neptune rotates early, and what does that do, though? It's due to Havoc getting all that info, getting the first blood, allows Neptune to get into this strong position, and just line him up, baby.
Beautifully done from Neptune. Yeah, you highlighted kind of the off angle he had at top Eskies earlier, but the patience pays off. I mean, he gets 2 of the freest and cleanest you'll see in the opening, then wins the final 1-on-1 to get the triple. He starts out 5-0. How impressive has this young man been?
Over the last, stage, one of the best players in our league, right? Yeah. It is difficult, I think, this year really for our subs to constantly being able to take over games with how strong Krigs are in this game. But he is one of the players that does it on almost a match-to-match basis.
We'll start to maybe try and get the little added utility in the form of streaks if he can keep this going. But up through the window, go 2. On defense, it's going to be Gunless. Havoc going to get shot in the back, picks the wrong side. There's going to be no streaks on Neptune either as Gunless locks it down to the 1v2, and Octane's got his street. The power AR duo of Surge closed down the B site.
Yeah, it's just all gunless, right? Just waiting for that push to come in. He hears the mantle in the window. He's ready for that next gunfight, and most of the times you have to be. But now down to Sky's in a 1v4, but just doesn't have a lot of time on the clock. 25 seconds to work with. Able to find one. They're just not going to give him many shots, and he's just going to back away. Well, I thought so. He's just going to die. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't even know why I call him the power AR duo. I mean, you'll see him with it, but Gunless really, he uses whatever he wants. One of the most versatile guys in the league here. It's up in hand. The site is his. A dominant effort from him to get the first round on the board. And, well, they needed it because through 2 rounds, they think they had 2 total kills. And Gunless, well, now they're up to 6. He accounts for 4 of them. But they're within a round. Now let's see if they can find success offensively as well. And this looks to be a quick one. 4-man hit towards A. Everybody basically up middle now for Mutineers. Oh, I don't think... Oh, now he knows.
So they just went right up the middle of the map. You're going to see Seattle's trying to figure this one out. They're getting trophies down. They're getting set up. But Gunless, he's going to get picked. Prestinni at least is able to answer, but bombs being planted. Now here comes the push for the Mutineers. They're trying to retake.
Havoc, good bit of finesse. There's the bait and switch. Sky's over the top. Now down to Octane. Can he clutch up in the 1 versus 3? 30 seconds on the clock. More than likely, he's going to have to snap after this first one. It's a freebie. Tries to snap, but Sky's in from behind, gets the kill. They'll get the defuse, and yeah, it just feels like you kind of said it, like they were trying to figure it out, right? Like the nades were out, the tacticals were out, like they don't hit anything. It's like, where are they type thing, and Gunless finally kind of peeks through back alley. Unfortunately, he's greeted by bullets to the face. And the retake, too strong for Mutineers.
Yeah, but like, who does it start with, right? Like, who's the first guy in that's kind of like, all right, we're going to hit from our spawn. It is the subs. It's Havoc. And that's what he has done for this team in Search. It's, okay, I know exactly what we're going to do. Follow me. He always has an answer. And that's why, like you see on the opposite side, what Classic and Prestinni are doing at 1 and 7, it's just a different beast. Those subs are really just setting the pace on the map and basically where this Florida Mutineers team, how they want to attack it.
Yeah, I think, they'd love to deal with 4-man hits or retakes in an even situation. Like, they've been pretty good there. It's just I don't know, some of those slower, drawn-out rounds where they'll struggle on defense. Prestinni just trying to wiggle back and forth as the bullets continue to come in. Able to get position, can't get away with his life, though. Advantage to Mutineers. Not anymore. 2 versus 2. Owakening brings it back. It was a 1v3 last time for Octane. This time it'll be a 1 versus 2 try as the bomb gets planted for Mutineers.
But it's like 3 2-man hits. It's the 2-man hit out the window to find Classic. It's the 2-man hit in the middle of the map. And then it's the 2-man hit on the rotator to basically put them in a 1 versus 2 in the Mutineers. They just, boom, they know where the next guy is going to be on the defensive side. And as soon as they get that kill, they rotate over, they hit the free bomb plant down. Now Octane, again, in a clutch situation. 25 seconds to work with, just trying to find a pick, and Owakening is giving him nothing.
Beautifully played. Yeah, no, they gave him absolutely nothing to work with. Good teamwork there to close it out. One of those spots where they can isolate one player as a duo. Just beautifully done. And we talked about their, Seattle Surge's woes in Search, and, Classic specifically. He's 0-4 here. Can't seem to find any rhythm within this map, too.
Oh, yeah, right there just gets first blooded. That's just a great call by the Mutineers. The stunt or the flash hits, he's fully blind. He can't do anything. They just fly out, find him, and that's when all the dominoes start to fall. They try to put themselves in better positions, but Surge, they get caught. Let's look at number 7 again. Havoc finds the opening. Ooh. Almost gets another first blood. It looks like they were ready for it. I don't know, maybe if they heard him. Jump in the window. But again, Prestinni's gotten his way to middle plat. Not going to find that kill on Owakening. It could be down to Neptune to try and hold on to A once again.
Much better job from Surge, kind of deal with that aggression, but Oh, no. That part of it can't happen. Sky's is able to get 2, and that advantage for Surge is gone. Into a 2 versus 2 we go, but Bomb will be recouped. For Surge by the B site. Coming through on the flank will be Neptune. And it looks like Prestinni has got eyes on it. He will. Neptune's going to be in trouble. Octane's going to track back. Awakening's got to get there to help. Does he get there in time? He's there a second late, which turns into a 1 versus 1, and Prestinni able to take it. If Awakening gets there a half second sooner, he might save his life, and they've got a 2-on-1.
Yeah, I mean, really, that's just it. Octane just gets there a little bit sooner to help his teammate out. Neptune was coming on that flank. Awakening was spotted, but they just, again, weren't sure if they were going to that plant. And that situation's a little bit different, but you could even say into that 2-on-2, would you just want them to sort of take their time, right? Just wait for that bomb to get planted, and then from there, take that 2v2 with the bomb down, where they could group up. But they go for the timings. Neptune ends up getting caught.
Yeah, he's hoping they're going for the plant, right?
Yep,
not
100%.
holding, not holding the window mid-map. Yeah. Yep. Neptune in trouble. The nade will finish him off. Classic still looking for his first kill in this one. But that is bombed down. And if they've spotted it, it's in a tough spot. Oh, no. They're going to get caught mid-map. Havoc, though, with the finesse game once again. Takes 1, doesn't overchow in the second. Waits for the help to come. And the help is here. Beautifully done by Havoc. Great help from Awakening.
And it feels like he always has someone with him to make it a two-man game. Gunless Classic able to force it into a 1v1. And Classic able to find his first kill. And he get hit number 2. But I think Havoc... I thought he read it, and it looked like he did, but Classic's going to spot him.
I'll tell you what, close. Joe. I don't gamble much. I'm not betting, man. But if I do is Havoc and Classic in a 1v1, and my entire bank account's probably going on Havoc.
Well, good thing that's not a thing, because you'd be broke. Yeah. Good thing that did happen.
But that was just unfortunate timing for Havoc. He just gets spotted, and what a big moment that is for Classic, because you had 0 kills going into that round. It comes down to a 1v1. You're able to win. Maybe a little bit of a, mental boost and confidence for him within this map too, as they bring it within a round.
Yeah, 100%. Sometimes when you have that 0 next to your name, you're 5 or 6 rounds in, you're just trying to get number 1 on the board. It's just some confidence. You don't want to overstep. You don't want to be a free kill, but now can he get things going for the rest of this game? It's a pretty slow offense here. It's a 3 stack. There's nobody at B. It's only 1 player in Skies playing this mid platform, just trying to see if anyone is going to cross, and he's going to see someone a couple of seconds. That's going to be Classic, and he's out. That's the info given to his team. Let's rotate. It's going to be a B plant.
There's clearing for now. Classic will get it down. Neptune, the point ban by a mile. The 2 players still on the offside are going to be rotating
he's just got to wait.
over.
This is where he's got to be patient.
He's trying to see if he can get a freebie. He's cleared the bomb room. Peekaboo, there he'll pounce. Able to take down 1. His teammate Awakening. One of the crosses well. Suddenly it's Octane again. He's been in a 1v3, a 1v2, another clutch scenario. 18 seconds left of the bomb. Can Octane go big this time around? Not going to happen. It's Neptune that opened it up. It's Neptune that shuts it down. Big plays and another solid retake from Mutineers.
And that's just the call from Havoc. I think Neptune's about to hop on that bomb, but Havoc from the window, he spots Octane at the globe. It's Octane again, just trying to clutch on up. Prestinni in the middle of the map, be able to find a couple of kills. But yeah, Neptune is just kind of shouldering, I think, just to get some info. And he's looking in there and he's like, there's no one in here. Like, nobody's in here. So I'm gonna just get behind this bomb, get to that first kill. And that's what they needed.
Yeah, it just felt like it was, I don't know, too much information for free. Like, you were saying, play patient. But the fact he was able to
he's just
kind of get in, scope it out.
Nobody's
like,
here.
What's going on? 1 round away from a 2-0 edge in this series is Mutineers. And they close it out on the offense. It was a well-rounded effort, and the hard point, same can be said here. Everybody putting on.
Rotations here, though, from Seattle. They had a very quick ace setup. Everybody's here already. They could rotate off if they wanted to, but I don't think they're going to. He's going for the gunfight, able to find one. The drop shots in. He's shooting trophies. He's snapping. I don't know if that was a teabag or just a crouch. It doesn't matter. Awakening, the last man alive in Seattle Surge. That was a quick defensive round.
Oh, yeah. Drop shot, and then he was definitely making some tea.
You think so? I don't know, man.
Freshly
You
you want to see it again? He's making some tea. Oh, that's making tea.
I think he's just waiting for the reload. He's being patient.
All right, okay.
I do that sometimes, you know? You know what I mean? Nah, he definitely was. Maybe. Maybe not. We'll never know.
They stay in it, though. Prestinni having a big game at 9 and 7.
He's
huge
doing it in
round
spawn,
there.
man. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you're probably right. You're probably right. Just keeping the hands warm, Joe. Keeping them warm. Testing out those back bumpers. Can they push us to around 11? Oh, no. It's not looking good, but can Classic get through? He does. The first blood goes the way of Mutineers, but too many bodies here from Surge, so what? They end up with the numbers, but goes away quickly. Neptune, the playmaker, once again going big into a 2 versus 2 with a ton of time on the clock, and now you got to rethink things. If you are Surge, they're going to take the bomb and quickly wrap over to A. We'll kind of zoom out and show you guys the overall picture. Skies and Neptune up against Classic and Octane.
Bomb's going to go down. Again, it's going to start with that sub player, but it's going to come down to a 1v1. Skies has him caught in the corner. Classic is out, man. Get out of there, run as fast as you can. Never mind, it's Classic. He's retaliating. It's a U-turn.
Classic is the greatest 1v1 Call of Duty player in the world. No, but seriously, all of his kills, I'm pretty sure, have come like these like crazy scenarios, and he wins a one-on-one. He has one bullet, no help. Is he gonna run away? Nope. You turn back in, give him the gunning. This Classic clutches again, gets us to around 11. You know, literally 4 of his 5 are in those 2 rounds where he ends up clutching a 1v1. We get some more Classic magic in this round 11. It'll be offense for Surge. Take a look at the hit.
I mean, it was looking good for Mutineers on that last round. Like basically it's this. It's a strong mid hit, and then somebody watching window. They're able to find the first blood, but Prestinni was so weak. His trophy kills him.
Oh, well, that's an unfortunate thing to happen in round 11. But the scenario will be the same as last round. It's a 2 versus 2, and Havoc.
Octane just gets down.
He has a freebie here. He had a freebie, but Octane playing prone. Awakening, though, from the other side of the street, finds it. Out of Gunless, 1 versus 2. They've had so many of these situations. Octane's had 3 himself.
Oh, he heard that. He heard the bomb pick up, so Havoc's given that call out.
He has spotted him too. Havoc gets more information, spots him on the cross, and now time dwindling. 25 to go. Gunless has got to make a decision. Through mid-map off. He gets that one. How different this round could be. 10 to go. And it's got to be a B plant. He's on it. Awakening's coming, though. Hops off it for a second, gets the kill. I don't think there was enough time. It was so close. It was so close, but not enough. And Mutineers will get the round victory. Awakening simply throwing his body to the wind. Enough to stop the plant from going through as they clutch up in the 2 versus 2.
But another round of whether Havoc or Neptune found the opening, right? Work the flank. I just feel like on their defense, they always got behind Seattle Surge, whether it was through the window hop up, right, to flank into gold, or just right there. As soon as they have a general idea of where Seattle is going to be, they're just hitting it. They're kind of hitting it, and they're just getting all the information that they need. Gunless almost pulls it off. But in the round 11, Mutineers, they're able to clutch on up. And, well, I mean, it's a big team effort. I mean, really for both sides. You have double digits, though, out of Prestinni, Octane 9 and 9. On the other side, you have 9 out of Havoc and Neptune.
No, absolutely. I mean, that was back and forth. And classic. I mean, he started so slow, but he had his moments. Wasn't the guy I thought maybe he was going to go clutch in those scenarios, but he did. And so, you know, he's kind of an unpredictable player at times in Search and Destroy, and it's probably why you see some big plays and some poor ones. But yeah, the U-turn, it paid off. But unfortunately, they're going to lose the map too. We're going to check out our U.S. Army tactical play. It's going to be from the round 2 within that Search and Destroy, as we'll go through one of the key rounds in this one. And Joe, we can watch it one more time as you take us through it.
Yeah, I mean, we're, deep into a 3 versus 3, and this is just Neptune, right? Just playing patiently. Prestinni is up through the middle of the map, and he's getting a lot of information for his teammates. Nobody has rotated back. So that was the first player to do so. He's got to back away from this nade, but Neptune, he's hearing the steps behind him. You see that, the way he's timing it out. Very patient, and then the ability to read the map. Where is that next player coming from? Prestinni, he shot his gun. He's coming up the SKs. I'm taking you out.
Beautifully done from Neptune. A monster play throughout that game too, but it's a 2-0 advantage for Mutineers within this best of 5. Now we're going to Control, which maybe a month ago would have said this is a wrap. This is the 3-0. Yet Surge, they lost 10 in a row, but right now they're on a 5-game Control win streak. It's somehow become their best mode. We've got Control coming up after the break.
Seany, the official eyewear for the CDL. Armor your eyes with Seany Blocks blue light protection glasses by visiting seany.com/gaming. Get insurance savings and discounts from USAA, the official insurance partner of the Call of Duty League.
We made USAA insurance for renters who make the most of their space and money. That's why we make it easy to cover the stuff you love for as little as 33 cents a day. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for.
Welcome back. We've got Control coming up as Mutineers look to close it out. And we're going to take a look at some Control stats for Surge. And they're not going to look great because we know, what was it? It was like first week of April through first week of June. It was a 2-month stretch. They did not win a single Control. I believe it was 10 in a row they lost. But with Classic on the squad, it has turned around, Joe.
Yeah, but that's right. They win 5 in a row. And, I mean, you can see that, well, they've really been struggling. I mean, where maybe if they turn things around, I guess attack rounds, where you kind of see 9th, because I'm sure before that, it was probably all last or 11th.
Close to it, yeah. Before this, like, past 5?
Stretch?
Yeah. It probably, it might have been last in every category, or darn near close to it, I would think. Because 8 total wins, they had won 3 before this stretch. So yes, that probably would have been the case. But let's see if some of that Control improvement, Control magic they've had, over the last month or so will be huge for them here. Joe, when you were taking a look at the checkmate, no, you can't take a lot from the overall records considering the turnaround, but how did it look for both teams?
Well, I mean, Mutineers have 13 games played on this.
That's quite a few.
Yeah, obviously very comfortable on this map. Surge 3-3, but it is one of the maps where they found some of those recent W's. And I think Chatmate Control, in a way, has kind of come back. We really saw it at the Major, where teams are just getting so good at Garrison, or you don't want to play a strong team on Raid, where, okay, what happens with the vetoes? We have to kind of go back to checkmate, and that just happens the way the game has evolved and kind of what you have to prepare for. But you look at the top two teams with Toronto and Atlanta FaZe, they're going to play Raid or Garrison, right? So teams have to prep for that.
It's not easy to do, as we've seen throughout the course of the year, but Classic does get the spot, goes to the drop shot. Not going to happen, but Prestinni will get the trade. Prestinni's gotten up to an aggressive position, and that's quality shots on Disguise to continue trying to stagger this. Now, the whole time, they've had Neptune kind of pushed up by that A site, but he's had to hop off it for now.
I love it. Yeah, let's get it, Prestinni. I love that. I'll pull out the pistol and go for it. You might as well. Gunless, though, off spawn, able to find a couple of kills, make it 3 in a row. To have a nice trap here. You see Octane's position. He's got a crossfire with that Cray, able to take down Skies. Prestinni and Gunless now fly on through. A strong defensive round so far here for Seattle Surge.
Well, yeah, I mean, Prestinni's play early, it just puts Mutineers on the back foot. They haven't been able to get any comfortable spots. It allows Surge to get to positions, like you said, for Octane. So it's been beautiful, and a massive life advantage already as they are up 6. Havoc will find his first kill of the round. Will that be the opener? It might be, because there's a second behind it, and with just under 30 seconds to go, they need to get something working.
Yeah, trying to work towards B, but it's Octane, who has been alive for 4 kills in a row, does get taken down, but they're making it messy, and there's always a trade, and that's what Seattle Surge need. Just make sure nobody can get on that point. Skies has been staying alive towards that A site. He's able to take down 2. Neptune's going to stop the clock. You're kind of working towards both zones right now. Prestinni dies. Neptune almost gets that tick. But really the big focus for his team is towards A.
They've done enough to keep this alive. First bit of progress done today. Same can be said for B. They've won their fights on their side. Neptune's been, by himself, basically, as most of the battle's been towards A, but he's won a couple of one-on-ones. Finally will drop. They'll have to clear him off of that, but then it's a wide-open A completion. So a minute added onto this. As Surge try to clear a decent chunk of progress on the second point of B that Neptune was able to do, and they do get 3 kills behind that as well, as you kind of get back to step 1 now if you're Mutineers.
Yeah, I mean, Neptune is obviously just kind of forcing them to have to look at him, but it's Skies of he finds 2 doubles while that's going on. That opens up that A zone. So they're able to capture that, but then you have the bounce back from Seattle Surge. They're up 2 lives, 40 seconds left, but here they come. They're able to get playing control, not trying to work this objective.
I just think, even if you do lose this round for your Mutineers, considering what it looked like with 25 seconds left or so, you'll take 4 points of progress.
Yeah, you'll take 4-6 all day.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Because you know how often we'll end up in a round 5 and how important having defense could be. I think you can smile about this one, even if you don't get the round 1 if you're Mutineers, but not done yet. They've got 10 seconds. Well, that might do it. It's 3 of them will drop. There's the 4th to fall with 5 seconds left, and not even enough time to run onto the point. So it's a round 1 win for Surge, but in the overall battle of attrition, when you talk about the objective scores leading into a potential round 5, not bad for Mutineers.
No, 100%. And just the fact Neptune is able to get the 1 take, he almost gets a second one at that zone, but they took their time. They were able to get out of that trap. You had a couple of players on sprees. You brought the life count right around even, so yeah, you take it, but good job from Seattle, just taking advantage of that early start by Prestinni.
Now let's see if Surge can kind of avoid what they were able to do to Mutineers and not get pinned early. Maybe keep this a little bit messier in the early going. These breaks so crucial in control. Trophies out, battle up. Octane takes the first one with the hop around the corner. Classic follows it up, and, well, yeah, already much better.
Played so patient, though, by Neptune. Just right outside the objective as well. It's to not let them know that he was there. They were looking for him. It was looking like a good start. But then he waits for his teammates to get into a position. He's able to find one kill. He just stays so patient. And now look at the map. It's a lot different just from that play.
Yeah, I thought Prestinni was going to get through again, too, and maybe be a bit of a nightmare in the Mutineers spawn, but that doesn't happen. So, nice regain. A good bit of patience from Neptune, but now Surge have flown forward. They're onto the B zone. You got numbers here for Mutineers. Well, okay, I take it back. The subs and Surge go big for him to keep the fight at mid-map.
And that's really what our teams have done on this map, right? And I think they've learned that from, you know, even a team like London, who is really strong this map, is you always kind of have a sub put pressure on B, and that opens up a lot of that A offensively, right? You want your ARs to get into those different power positions, right? Opens up the lanes so that, well, the defensive team has to focus on the player at B, because they don't want to lose that. That's what they were just trying to do right there. The Mutineers, they are able to find those kills. You saw Prestinni and Classic both trying to do the same exact thing we saw Neptune do in the round earlier. And yeah, you said it, right? The 4 objective prior 6 they were able to get, well, they're up 4-0 there. So yeah, they will take that all day.
100%. Now, yeah, what seems like a minute and a half later, you're in a very good spot. Fantastic defense from Mutineers. And yeah, I just think it all I know there's a lot of plays throughout the course of a round, but Neptune's patience in play just kind of flipped it back. They could have been in a really tough spot if he were to get caught. Send Surge back to spawn, they regain control, and they never look back.
And then, like you said, I mean, Prestinni, he's flying up. If he finds a kill or just maybe even 2 in that position, right, with those players off spawn, that kind of happens where he dies and then Neptune's able to make that play.
Oh, it's like if the worst 2 things happened that could have happened there if you were Surge, yes, after you kind of won the opening break, yeah.
Well, but this is looking a lot like round number 1. I mean, Prestinni's not making a play, but his AR's doing. He's right back to this position. His Mutineers, they're going to have a lot to deal with. But again, Prestinni, when he gets there, doesn't find much.
But yeah, I mean, it's still... This time, though, if you're Surge, like, all right, see, just by winning it so convincingly off the opening break, I mean, that's going to take, you're talking probably 45 seconds or so off the clock as Mutineers just try and kind of get out of the, you can call it a spawn trap. It's not quite like old school spawn traps, but in a way it is that they'll get them pinned deep and get them locked in. But this is about the time, this wave of spawns, are right around the 30-second mark where Mutineers started to find success. This time, if you're Surge, can you stop that from happening?
Well, it's a really good job by the Mutineers, because every time a Prestinni or Classic get into a forward position, they've dealt with it. They haven't allowed that sub player to make the play, but it's the ARs looking over them. This time, Octane able to find 2. Now trying to see what else he can find, but Owakening is going to get them out, and well, with about around the same amount of time to get on A.
Yeah, the only difference, though, Neptune, when he got to B, he stayed alive forever. Havoc got there for a second and dropped, and focus won't be as split, but now Neptune gets back to the spot. He's gotten onto the B zone. Can he work a bit of magic yet again to keep his team in the game? It's Havoc on one side, it's Neptune on the other, and dear God, we're watching round 1 all over again.
Yeah, it's literally the same thing. Right now, if you're Surge, what do you want to do here? You know that most of their players are going to go towards A sooner or later, but you don't want to give up too much time. They're going to send it. They're going to send it and try and take control of B from this lower plane. Neptune does get taken down. They're able to find all those kills, and there we go. Only 1 tick. But yeah, it was the same situation that we saw happen. They switch it up, though. They just all go towards that A zone.
Yeah, much better. But you bump it up to what, a 5-point advantage. You're thinking about the round 5. For Mutineers. So it's like, yeah, I mean, you're gonna need to come in here and I was trying to think, like, if they win it, obviously they win it, but if they got 5 points, you at least tie it up from an objective standpoint.
4. Didn't they get 1? They got 1 ticket progress?
Well, they got 4 the first time they got 1 there, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but didn't Surge get 1?
Oh, you're right. Yes. Okay, I was thinking, for some reason I was thinking it was 5-0. You're correct.
Okay.
It's looking good so far. There's already one spot done on A. As Classic moves up. Classic wins his one as well, but no help there from the other side of his rest of his teammates coming off the spawn. Havoc starts shooting, keeps shooting around the edge, and Prestinni sent back to the start. You've had Neptune kind of tucked away, forward playing this entire time. He's in a sea of blue. Just wondering when he's going to take his opportunity, and that's going to be now. Able to get one and get away with his life.
Yeah, again, just very patient in those positions, but Octane able to work the flank, at least takes down one, but none of his teammates have really moved forward. Prestinni now trying to do what he can, put a trophy down on him. Hopefully that nade doesn't come in and gets him, but Classic finally finds that sneaky player in Neptune up top in the plane. Now they can work the positions, but now it's just which zone do they want to go to? Where do they want to attack? And it's going to follow up Prestinni. He takes down Havoc, and they're going to go towards A. That's all 4 dead.
Okay. Yeah, they just fly kind of right up between both points and kill everyone. So that's one way to get it done as well. They'll have 3 completing A quickly. That'll be done in just a matter of time. They did have Gunless on B. If he's still up, this transition could be so quick and so painless, but as he drops, Mutineers players able to get a little bit more forward. Everybody falls outside of Prestinni. He does a good job winning that gunfight. They've got a minute to work with. Well, 1 bit of objective progress ties it. 2 would give them the edge in the defense.
We'll find the kills. Octane finds number 3. There's number 4 again at 4 dead, and this is going to be a stack. They don't have a trophy that I can see, so the nades will hit if they do connect. But it doesn't look like anyone's hit one. Here come the shots, though. Mutineers, they have to go. Neptune, he's going to get on it. He's just going to contest. Sky's looking over him. Sky's able to find another one with Awakening. Just 1 player left. Prestinni just trying to finesse. And I think he's done it. He's taken challenges off spawn with the pistol again. He hits it. Prestinni wins the game. He wins the last one-on-1, and he's hitting pistol shots across the map.
All that talk about who would get it in round 5, the defense not gonna matter. 2
we don't
full
need the math,
squad
Maeve.
wipes.
It's fine.
2 full squad wipes get them on. As the control win streak continues, now up to 6 in a row for Seattle Surge. I think you said at one point, like, which objective are they gonna pick? And like they just sort of ran up between both and killed everyone. Like, and then they were able to pull it off again and in control, or well, heck, any mode. That clean squad wipe is it's everything. It gives them all the map presence in the world. But we're gonna check out Prestinni's reaction one more time. He's hyped up out of his seat.
My man's making plays. Look at this guy. He's still going, dude. I told you. I saw it twice. Just going for spawn kills with a pistol across the map. I love it. I need some. If I could have a little bit of that self-confidence, if I could just chop that off and take it, I would love it. That'd be awesome.
Well, let's take a look at the stats through that one, Joe.
Well, I mean, Octane has a great game, but Prestinni 20 and 18. Really, it's just a solid team effort from Seattle Surge. On the other side, I think just for the Mutineers, the big thing is that you lose that defensive round. And Neptune, I think he was running around like 12 and I want to say like 10 and 12, 12 and 14, but he can't really get things going in that map. And you know, Mutineers, they had a chance to bounce back after losing that A zone, but 4 dead again just cannot happen.
Beautifully done from Surge to stay alive in this series, but with regards to the vetoes, we are going to Mutineers hardpoint pick next. It is going to be in Moscow to possibly decide this one. We'll see if Mutineers can close it out or Surge can push it to a map 5 after this quick break. We are back. Hello, and if you take a look at the bottom of your screen in just a moment, you're going to find a way to win a free CDL game pack or team pack. So make sure to do that. But Joe, we've got ourselves a series now. I was thinking maybe 3-0, but we were questioning it based on the recent success of Surge. When you talk about control, they're able to get the victory and they'll continue on. But now, what are they going to need to do if they're going to win Moscow Hardpoint?
Maybe they're just going to all the ego chow Diamantes, like my man Prestinni is right here. I mean, just look at this pop-off moment here. I mean,
he can fight a bear.
His three teammates are like, I don't really know what happened, but this guy's dancing right now. He is dancing and man's doing what he wants.
And Gunless, his emotions look the same as his call-outs earlier in the listen in. But Octane, I mean, the guy has been a monster, whether online or LAN. I mean, he's been ludicrous. You saw his stats within this series. He's been a beast. But if you look at it overall by stage, he had a 1.22 in stage 4. I mean, you can see the tweets and him talking about his performance on LAN. Guess what? He was dominating online too. Like, he was the #1 KD in stage 4, the 1.22. He's just very good.
No, he is. And I mean, he's a superstar of Seattle Surge, right? This is what we're going to keep talking about. He has to lead the way, and even did that the first 3 stages, right around top 10 in the league. You know, one of the best main ARs that we have. But now we're going to a map where he's got to show his dominance on Moscow Hardpoint and have another good one, because on the other side of it, throughout that first Hardpoint, it was skies. We got the best of them.
Yeah, and this is 4-7 for Surge, 8-4 for Mutineers. So one of their better Hardpoints, and well, why it is Mutineers' pick for the map 4. See if they can bounce back from the map 3 loss and close it out here. But Octane, individually, terrific. The team has not found the success he wants it to, but within this series at least, and getting ready for another major, they somehow pull off the reverse sweep. It continues here with Moscow.
I mean, Mutineers, we won't see it until maybe the next rotation, or maybe we'll if they get an early break, but I think they're one of the best teams at holding this first hill into the second hill and almost creating like a trap we would normally see on a checkmate, in sort of just splitting the map in half. But you're going to have Seattle Surge spawning on the right side of your mini-map, so if that situation comes up, we'll see how the Mutineers break it off. But even just right there, starting on bad side, getting out, not allowing that to happen to them, finding this early time. Good job so far from Mutineers, but here comes Prestinni. My man will challenge you with whatever he's got in his hands, but he gets taken out. Neptune, he flies up the middle of the map to sort of flip those spawns or kind of split them. The next gunfight up, well, that's an AR, and he's just going to back on down.
Yeah, it was kind of like a parallel spawn mid-map, right? With one top and one bottom, just the guy most forward was the guy alive. It was Neptune, so he's able to get to the back first, try and set his team up, and he keeps finding kills. It's a 5-0 start for Neptune. Just been an all-star for this squad. But speaking of all-stars, you've got Octane still here with a double, but is it enough? It's at least created a little bit of havoc around the point, as no one's really got a clean setup yet.
Well, Neptune's looking for streaks. He's on 5 in a row. He's got a Kree as well, so he's just going to be watching this door. There's number 6. And he has stayed alive through the start of this game. Can he find number 7? Oh! No! Goes for the trade, and Octane shuts it down. You do have the spawn, though. That's classic. But they're ready for it. They recognize it due to the position of Awakening and Neptune. They are flying across the map. Man, if you would have had that artillery or got that in a cruise, that could have looked ugly early for Seattle Surge.
Well, it still might, because they get Surge spawning in the back late in this hard point. Havoc is still finding kills around the point. Now they've got a 2-on-1 on the other side of it. They haven't located Prestinni yet, who's been lurking, but they're able to do it. Havoc keeps it messy towards the first point. Now you transition this with a 30-point lead over to third. It looks good for Mutineers.
No, it sure does. And again, it's the subs. The maps that they have won throughout this series, Havoc and Neptune, they have just honestly dominated. Just finding those first kills, making it look easy, is Havoc on the first 4-man hit by Seattle Surge, able to take down 2.
They continue to trade efficiently and build this lead. And yeah, I mean, what's your map pick, right? You're spawning on the lesser preferred side, and you're getting to the tail end of the third hard point. You're looking at the scoreline. Terrific stuff out of Mutineers, and well, you see why this has been a solid map for them.
100%. And I just feel like this is a good map for a guy like Habit. Even when we watch them play the Search, I feel like he always finds openings. He knows the timing so well. As he's doing it again, gets all the way behind Seattle Surge, and they just have to wait for him. They have bank control. Classic's going to be the first man up. Classic knows that there could be somebody on the pinch. They're looking for each other. And, well, here we go. Neptune able to find the first kill. Classic at least finds it, but he is weak. On the other side, his teammates, they all get taken down. That is 4 dead and a break for the Florida Mutineers.
Florida Mutineers looking to put Surge away and send them packing. It's a triple for Skies. Let's go to an Astro listening with Florida Mutineers.
Left side, globe heady, crouching.
Stay
nail.
He's on the fence.
He's in no.
Far right, and then he's push up right.
Then level 3, he's on deep.
Okay.
Behind the fence.
Octane's there too.
One shot dead. Yeah, I'm in ramp. Stay out. He's left side bus. I'm gonna. Here, I'm going window right now. Yo, somebody grab Eskies with me. They're already in Peon. Yeah, wrap Eskies with me. We gotta kill this guy. I'm wrapping the lobby.
Oh yeah, there's 2 streets. So Octane, Prestinni street. One's close 22.
Dude, he's gonna be in a corner here.
Eskies weak. I shot twice.
Gunless dead, Eskies.
Nice,
One street.
I'm gonna hold on.
Have your up right, Nep. Watch your left. Lay down and watch your left. Our side bench. Every right.
I have all of Eskies hit.
One can pinch.
Right weak. One shot hill.
Half
off. Hey, yellow, go to Octane.
2 there, 2 yellow pot, 2 by yellow pot. They're spawning Eskies.
Yeah, we can wrap this if I just
Laundry and 2 hill to the Sean hill.
They shot my
If they
feet.
come out 3 on you right here, close to him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play a song.
Let's go down. Play this. I'm watching. I'm waiting for you guys.
Wait for us, guys. Wait for us.
He's lobby, pre-fired me. Last guy, he's Shotzzy street. So there's side P1. He's on a 4. We gotta kill that guy.
Down.
That's good scrap. Save. Don't overextend.
Yeah, he didn't.
He's about to get streaks.
You're not gonna shoot.
Nice, good shit. What's happening? I come
up.
Nice, rap street. I'm gonna go
down. One's gonna be street. I'm waiting. Underhalf all dead. Nice, let's go.
Deep street, watch out. Lastly, the back laundry.
Go hit.
Well, Mutineers, you hear the comms there, and I like a lot of the discussions, but Surge do a much better job at first. They get into a better position here at second. If they're going to start to come back into this game, this is the point.
100%. You like just hearing Skies, like he's on a 4, okay? They got a little bit lucky because the team nade got Octane off that 6 spree. But yeah, kind of what I was talking about happened to them. They got put in that trap by a wonderful setup by Seattle Surge on that first hill, and you can just see how difficult it is to deal with it. If you're coming down escalators, running a bunch of different angles, you're pushing out streets when you have ARs that globe. It's just tough to deal with. They were able to transition into a second hill. They hold off on the pushes. Mutineers, they're going to rotate over to Fountain as they get set on up.
And I like it. Like, it's easier to do when you have a lead, obviously, but you know, don't risk another push and then maybe getting spawned in the back. It ends up flipping. Basically exactly what they did to Surge. They don't want to risk that. They just want to get set up and lock down third, but now you have to actually do it. And, well, Skies is doing a hell of a job.
Yeah, Classic, though, gets maybe a little bit more forward than they thought. As soon as that hill pops, they saw him on the contest. But Skies in Awakening, able to take him down. Skies up to 20 and 11 now on another spree. So he finds 4 kills in that push. Now just soaking up this time.
And he's just so good when he, and most ARs in the league are obviously, but when you get to your power position, you have your teammates in front of you, you know where the enemy is coming from. When you have talent like Skies, you get a lot of kills. He's gotten 5 since this point popped. And that's why I also like them just rotating off it early. Just get him to his spot. Let him beam.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and then, you know, worst case scenario, you have Awakening looking over him. So those two guys just so strong is, yeah, they bounce back. They find 50 seconds or so on this hill. They keep this lead right around 70. Now we get into a spot where we have this position, and well, Skies, he's got a streak, and now he's going to use this artillery.
Yeah, and that's just, I mean, he doesn't die there, he gets 6 kills. The artillery hits. Like, I feel like a lot of breaks on this point. Like, I don't know, the opposite AR will beam the AR posted up off the break, and everything kind of starts to collapse from that. But when you're doing what Skies is doing, and you're not missing a bullet, and you're on 9 in a row, it makes it tough to do. As Mutineer is about to hit the 200-point mark, as Skies is putting on a Moscow clinic. Unbelievable stuff, up 100.
Well, this is what you want to see. Again, like we talked about in the keys, how good he was last stage in the respawns. He's showed it here in the hard points. He did it on Apocalypse. He's doing it on Moscow now. He's got the cruise missile if they need it. They're going to find the scrap time. You will get set up, but you can use the cruise to break this hill.
Yeah, I mean, well, Sky's having a game, but Neptune's been right there with him. And poor Nicky D. I know he's had a couple good moments this series, but he's in the just super blender right now. 7 and 24. Has not been able to really leave an impact within this map, as now the cruise missile will come in as he'll wrap it in from out wide. Gunless might be the victim, but he's able to tuck away. The position gets called out, though, and Havoc will clean it up. 27 points for the series victory for Mutineers.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is it doesn't find a kill, but it forces Seattle Surge to, what? Have to reposition. Yeah, they have to move. They have to get away from their power spots. That opens up the lanes for the Mutineers, and then when they try to get back to their spots, that's when they catch them. They only need 12 more seconds. Havoc is able to find one. Owakening still on this hill. Trying to win the game here. Here comes the contest. You still have spawns for the next hill if you are Seattle Surge, and they're going to get it there, but it's not going to be by much.
Yeah, I mean, a terrific job contesting this and holding, because it's not the easiest thing to do. They've stayed in it, but yeah, just 7 points needed now for Florida Mutineers. One break here would close out the game. But it was a perfect 60. Flawless hold from Surge the last time we were at second. They do it again. They get around 190, and then that's where you would love if somehow somebody gets a streak here, right? Like if they get the hold, somebody gets an opener for third, but Sky is, well, he might open it here and close out the game. 31 and 14. I thought he was going to win that gunfight, surely, but Prestinni stays up before he ultimately gets traded. Onto the point go, Mutineers. Havoc lining them up. And that's the... Oh, no! There's a contest! I thought it was done. Not quite yet.
Eddie is Sky's 3 more. Yeah, Eddie just
okay, padding the stats? Yeah. Just padding the stats? Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 34, and this is when things really turned around. They got into that setup, but you can see how weak he is. He backs down, he finds 2 kills. He deals with all 4 players on Seattle Surge. That's when he gets those sprees, and yeah, it's just easy. Yeah, just run into my pre-fire, no problem.
It's just so much easier. Like when you get the early setup, you've got a lane to hold. Just hit your shots, and you're usually in a good position. He did just that. Mutineers, a solid series victory. They're obviously sitting, right on the edge of that playoff talk, like in that 8th position. But as they continue to improve, looking to be a threat. You love what you're seeing out of Skies. Just need to see it when it comes to the majors. And Neptune has been an absolute monster. The woes and misery, though, continue for Seattle Surge. Well, really since the inception of the Call of Duty League.
Yeah, unfortunately, but, looking at stats, I mean, 5,600 damage from Skies, 34 kills. Some of the highest I've seen on this map, that is for sure. Usually it's pretty low engagements, not for him today. As well, I mean, the rest of the team, solid games for him. And I just feel a lot of it falls on their subs. Like Havoc and Neptune, just the amount of sort of individual plays that they were able to make. They're very patient on the map, and they play their lives just really well.
Yeah, I forgot. I have a new mark now. I was standing in the wrong spot. I'm now in position, Joe, so I don't look like a giant. That was on me. But we're going to take a look at the Scump play of the game. It's going to be Skies, and I imagine it's going to be that stretch at third where, yeah, he took over the game. I know we've seen it a couple times, but it was terrific stuff from him. No, so this is actually later in the streak. So this is after third when he really starts pushing up and locking it down to set them up for the bus hill, which honestly was just as important over the flurry here for Mutineers.
Yeah, and I mean, right before this, he calls the artillery in. That allows his teammates to go on the push. So not only is he finding kills to really open up this spree, but he's using the streaks. And a lot of the times we see those streaks take down a teammate or two and maybe mess up those sprees. But the comms were on point for the Mutineers. They win this one 3-1.
Mutineers get the victory. They started stage 4 strong, looking to do that here with stage 5. It was impressive, but still a lot of work to be done. But we are getting ready to head to break. On the other side of it, we'll have Lottie and Nameless break it down.
The Call of Duty League is presented by the US Army. What's your warrior? Presented by USAA. Getting insurance with USAA is easier than level 1. Learn more at usaa.com/insurance.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Call of Duty League. Now Lady Liberty is giving her seal of approval to Mutineers as they take down Seattle Surge 3-1. Cheeky wink there from her, I think I just caught it. We do have the schedule right now and the results up for you just in case you've missed the first 2 games. Atlanta FaZe took Paris Legion in a bit of a sweep there. The janitor was out once again, and then Florida 3-1 against Seattle Surge, losing out of the control. It was quite fitting considering Seattle's weak point at one point was actually the control, so pretty good stuff from them in terms of that area, but the rest of it is history, I'm afraid. But Nameless, I have you joining me on the desk, and I gotta say, Mutineers, they are hanging on strong. Skies is looking damn good, if I don't say so myself, and also Neptune, pretty impressed with him too. But what did you make overall of this game, and especially with Mutineers, because we've discussed about their potential run for the top 6? Is that still kind of out of reach based on what you saw?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they would just have to do a whole lot to get to that top 6. But for them, you know, looking at this roster in that series, I was looking for the Skies at the Major. He didn't quite play to that caliber at the Major, but here he looked fantastic. It just seems like when they can get him going, now that Neptune is consistent and the submachine guns are doing their thing, they're able to fry, man. It's just their formula for success. I mean, seeing Neptune on the map, he's initiating, he's breaking hills, he's staying alive, building up streaks for this squad. He's so elusive on the map. It just reminds me a little bit like Shotzzy, and that definitely bodes well for this roster. Looking across that series, I thought they played fantastic. The one player I'd be looking at a little bit to step up going forward is Owakening if they are to make a major run and get deep into it. We know what he's capable of, and we just haven't seen it lately in any of these matches.
He doesn't have the same flair as he had previously, but I know it's still in there. He's still obviously being consistently good. I got to say, I agree with you, man. Neptune has really stepped up in a big way. I feel like he really is a game changer on this roster at the moment. Also Skies too. That Skies, whew, that's a dangerous Skies to be dealing with, that is for sure. But I'll tell you what, we also do have a little bit of analysis. What would a game break be without Nameless breaking things down? S&D Moscow, round 11. Talk me through it, my dude.
Yeah, so this is one of the defining moments of the series for sure. If Seattle were able to take this, obviously they went into that control where Octane balled out, and they would have been up 2-1 in a fantastic situation. So let's check out this round. Kind of unfortunate what happens to Prestinni this round, but they got hard countered by Florida. You see Florida pushes up right up the middle, Neptune jumps up on that tree, and it all happens real quick. He gets that kill, Gunless trades him, and then right after that, Prestinni throws his trophy down. A millisecond after he throws his trophy down, a nade comes in, and when that happens, it does a little bit of damage to the guy that's near the trophy, and Prestinni's taken out. But right here, you're going to see Florida Mutineers. The way they set that up is Havoc realized that what they were doing is they're pushing through, trying to go for that B push. So he just flanks around immediately. That's what he's good for in Search and Destroy. He gets around, sets up these traps and these pinches. So in clutches, you have an advantage. So he goes around back. He essentially traps them. Doesn't catch the player physically, but he knows where they're generally located. So he gives that information towards Owakening. He picks up the kill on the street, and then Gunless is left in a 1 versus 2 with not a lot of time left on the clock versus players who are now grouping up. So Gunless eventually is going to rotate through the map. He's just not going to have enough time to get that bomb down. He gets a kill, but it doesn't end up working out. But yeah, for Florida Mutineers, I mean, that was a brilliant call. Round 11, a lot of teams like to go to that B bomb site. They just say, screw it, let's get aggressive and take the ball and put it in our court. Works out for them.
You know what? Damn, he really was a millisecond away from getting that though, wasn't he, on the street? Holy smokes, it was oh, he just missed it. But I'll tell you what, incredible stuff from Mutineers overall, and a great game to watch as well. But we do have another game to talk about, and that of course is Empire versus LAG. Now, Nameless, we have spoken about how good Empire are looking, and also how you feel like they've kind of shown you enough to compete for a ring by the time we get to champs. So I want to pick them from this match, but not just to pick them. I want the score. What are you saying?
Oh, it's tough. You asked me for the score too? Okay, well, I'm going to go Dallas Empire 3-0. I love what I saw to them. I think that they've been working very hard. I've seen Rambo doing some streams, talking about things that they're sort of working on. He doesn't go too much into detail, but I can tell that he's hyper-focused, and they're improving. So going up in this match against LAG, a team that just made a roster change and got rid of their best statistical performing player, bringing in a guy in his debut this late in the game, I think it's just going to be the struggle bus for LAG from here on out. Going up against Empire, I think Empire take it.
You know what? I'm going to be right there with you, buddy. 3-0 for me as well, Dallas Empire. I think Empire right now just on the uptrend in a major, major way. I think they're peaking at a perfect time. Exactly what we saw in Major 4 was just outstanding against Atlanta FaZe. Going up against LAG, like you said, are kind of on the struggle bus right now. Changed their roster, haven't had many reps in. It's going to be really, really tough, so I'm going to call the 3-0 sweep as well. Well, I tell you what, folks, we're going to head to a break, but when we're back, I'm back on your screens, but I'm also bringing Skies with me to talk about that epic series and how they're feeling heading into the rest of the stage. Look at him. He's ready. He's ready to go. We'll catch you after this.
That's a meme right there.
Hello Call of Duty League fans, welcome to your Game Fuel Victory Spotlight. Joining me, I have the wonderful Skies from Florida Mutineers. First of all, Skies, you were frying, my dude, so incredible stuff. You made that so incredible to watch, so I appreciate the talent on show there today. But congratulations, a big dub to start the stage. You guys are sitting comfortably at 8th position right now, but 6th position means winners bracket when you get into champs. Is that, you know, it's obviously quite far of reach for you guys. You have to bump up a few places. I think it's 40 points you need to get there. Is that a big goal for you right now? Is that the main goal?
Yeah, we're definitely. It's pretty much guaranteed. I think winner or champs for us. So we're like really trying to fight for that 60 spot. I think we're 3 matches behind Minnesota now, because I think they were up 30 and then they won yesterday and then we just won today, so we tied it back at 30. So like our goal is to like do our hardest. Like worst case we lose a match, we're trying to go 4-1 minimum. But if we go into VIA, that'd be good. If we get first seed as well, because hopefully we can get Minnesota into losers bracket so we could have that second chance at the tournament and try to like catch up on those points that we need.
Yeah, absolutely, my dude. I'm glad that's a big goal for you guys still at the moment. But you guys have actually been one of the best slaying teams that we have in the league. You guys are unbelievable when you're on fire. I got to know, what are you working on to really try and ensure that you guys really can compete for champs and potentially get a ring at the end of it?
We got an extra brain in there helping us like get better, and we know we can we can outslay a lot of these teams. We can keep up with slaying just about any team. We have the talent for it. We just have to piece it together, and I think we've slowly been doing that. And we're almost getting to that point where we hit our peaks almost.
Fantastic stuff. I'll tell you what, extra brain power can do a lot. That's for damn sure. Sky, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck heading into the stage. And let's get top 6. Come on, we got this.
Yup. Thank you. Appreciate it. That's the goal.
Thank you so much, Sky's amazing to talk to him as always. We love the memes, we love the shy LaBouffe, we love it all. More Skies please, and especially when he's popping off on the screen as well. Well, I'll tell you what folks, we do have our marquee match to get to. That's right, it's going to be Dallas Empire versus LAG. It's a big game coming up. We can see Crim's forehead right there, Vivid, Shotzzy, iLLeY, they're all ready to go. Brand new Mental as well to the team. Let's see how both of these teams do in this next series.
It is time for the Game Fuel marquee match. And Joe, while this might not look like the craziest matchup on paper, there are a few storylines that I love within this. You know, you got Vivid versus Old Team, Empire, Pretenders, Contenders. What are we going to see after their run to a final? And then I want to see with Mental. Like, seems like kind of a development project for him within this league and within this lineup. There are some things to watch for sure.
No, 100%. Yeah, I think for me, it's Dallas. Can they continue to improve, right, throughout this Stage 5? Really set themselves up to, as you said, be a contender to win Major 5, maybe win champs, go back-to-back. And then for Guerrillas, yeah, I just want to see how Mental plays. That's really it for me.
Yeah, no, I think that's the big thing. I mean, they're out of the hunt when you think about maybe playing, at champs at the end of the year, but I want to see what Mental's made of and see if he improves with this team. But one player we're going to talk a lot about is going to be our Game Fuel featured player, and that is going to be one of your favorite players to watch in all of Call of Duty, Joe, and that is Shotzzy.
Yeah, I'm